Welcome back. Apologies for not uploading a video today. It's a quite busy day for me. So here we go with our next case study from CA Final Audit MCQs and Case-Based Scenarios booklet issued by ICI. You can download it from Institute website. Let's get into the question. Many people were commenting that this is a difficult question, but it's quite easy if you know the provisions. Okay, let's go through it. Wells and Associates, an audit firm, was selected for the purpose of quality review by the Quality Review Board (QRB), as it was having many of the statutory audit assignments of clients engaged into sectors identified as prone to fraud. There were adverse findings by the technical reviewer in the quality review conducted in the past of Mr. Ramesh, an engagement partner of Wells and Associates, because of which the QRB selected 5 audit engagements of the firm for quality review. Mr. J, a practicing CA for more than 25 years, was appointed as a technical reviewer to conduct the quality review of the said firm, and accordingly, Mr. J, after conducting the quality review with a team of 3 assistants, submitted his preliminary report to Well and Associates with a qualification as under. So the qualifications are listed here. The AFUR, audit firm under review, has not obtained a written confirmation of compliance with its policies and procedures on independence from all firm personnel for the past 2 years. The second observation is the AFUR has established the policies and procedures for assembling the final audit file in accordance with the time limit prescribed in SA 230, but there were delays observed in the same. So please refer to the table or note below for the same. So they have given this particular note. We'll get to it after some time. So the next observation is, for 2 of the audit engagements of the AFUR, no engagement documentations were available for the same, and as per the statement of the partner of the AFUR, audit firm under review, after retaining them for 4 years and 6 years respectively, were sent to the principal auditors of the said audit engagement. And the next observation is, there were also instances of delays observed in the in communicating the significant deficiencies to those charged with governance. Please refer note as below for the same. We'll go through it, no worries. And the next point is, the AFUR, audit firm under review, had revised its performance materiality level in case of one of its statutory audit assignments with respect to auditing of financial leasing transactions, and the AFUR had only documented such revision in the performance materiality level. And the note is saying the name of entity, type of entity, date of approval of financial statements, date of audit report, date of assembly of final audit file, and date of written communication to the significant deficiencies in internal control by AFUR. Fine. We were given with some 5 entities, both listed and unlisted were covered. Okay. On the basis of the above mentioned facts, you are required to answer the following MCQ questions. Okay. So this is a bit tricky. We'll take you through each and every provision. Be careful. Okay. This video might be a bit long compared to others. Let's go through the first case question. Well and Associates should have obtained a written confirmation of compliance with its policies and procedures on independence from all of its firm personnel as per requirements of which statute or standard, and in what frequency. So for this, I'll take you through a screenshot which I have taken from your study material. Just give me a second. Yeah, here you go. So it is from your peer review and quality review chapter. So go to the 4th point, where the audit firm obtained at least annually a confirmation letter concerning compliance with its policies and procedures for the maintenance of independence from all the person required to maintain independence. So they need to obtain at least annually. So this is clear, but where is this documented? It is documented in standards on quality control. Wait, I'll take you through that as well. So this is documented under SQC 1. Standard on quality control 1. Quality control for firms that perform audit and reviews of historical financial statements and other assurance and related service engagements. So these were the requirements of SQC 1, which is stating that you need to obtain at least annually a confirmation letter from your firm personnel, all of the firm personnel, for the compliance with the policies and procedures for the maintenance of independence, right? So this is where it is documented. See, it is from SQC 1. Okay, we'll get back to the question. So you will see many pauses from my side for this video because it's a too tricky question, but still, yeah, we'll try to maintain that pace. So the option is option B. As per the requirements of Standard on Quality Control 1, at least annually, Well and Associates should have obtained a written confirmation from all of its firm personnel, right? So all other options, option A is saying council central guidelines, C SA 220, and D is saying code of ethics. So all these were nonsense. It is as per the requirement of SQC 1. Therefore, option B is the correct option. And then we'll move on to the next question. So question number 2 and question number 3, I'll take it towards the end. We'll go through the fourth question first. For at least how many more years, Well and Associates should have retained the engagement documentation in respect of the two audit engagements as referred above. So what were those two engagements that they're referring to is probably, yeah, the third observation by the reviewer, technical reviewer. See, what it is saying is they're retaining the engagement documentation for two engagements. One is for 4 years, the other is for 6 years. But all this engagement documentation should be a part of your audit documentation. So how far you should maintain your audit documentation? It is for 7 years, right? So they need to maintain for 7 years. 7 years in the sense 3 more years for the first engagement and 1 more year for the second engagement. So I'll take you through the screenshot of the material wherein this is documented that it is that it needs to be maintained for 7 years. Just give me a second. Yeah, here you go. So go to the first point, the second line. The SA 230 prescribes the minimum period of retention of engagement documentation as 7 years. Since, as per the provisions of Chartered Accountants Act 1949 and the regulations made thereunder prescribe the minimum period for retention of the working papers as 7 years. Therefore, the answer is 7 years to be, the auditor has to retain those documents for 7 years. So, since they have maintained for only 4 and 6 years for the two engagements, they need to maintain 3 more years for the first engagement and 1 more year for the second engagement. Okay, so the answer would be 3 and 1. Yeah, 3 years and 1 year respectively, because the question is not asking you how many years they need to maintain. So if the question is asking you how many years the documentation has to be maintained, then it would be 7 years. 7 years is your answer. But the question is how many more years they should have maintained. Since they have already maintained for 4 years and 6 years, now they need to maintain for more 3 years and 1 year respectively, right? So option A is the correct option. And then going forward, how many audit engagements of Well and Associates the QRB might have selected if there was no adverse findings by the technical reviewer in the quality review conducted in the past of Mr. Ramesh, partner of Well and Associates? So even this, we have a screenshot for you. 1 minute. So here it is. So quality review cycle, go to the second point. Up to 3 audit engagements of an AFUR may be selected by the board as may be considered appropriate. During a particular quality review cycle covering entities of varied industries, size, geographical spread, and regulatory concerns. However, in the absence of any adverse findings in the past review, not more than 1 audit engagement of the same engagement partner or the proprietor of the AFUR may be selected for quality review by the board during the particular quality review cycle. Therefore, it is up to 3 audit engagements of the firm and not more than one of Mr. Ramesh, right? So, the answer here is, it is option D. QRB might have selected up to 3 audit engagements of Welland Associates for review and not more than one audit engagement of Mr. Ramesh. Why we are saying not more than one? Because the question is saying if there were no adverse findings, how many should have been selected? Since there is no adverse findings, then option D is the correct option. However, we'll go through the other options. So option B and option C are saying 5 audit engagements, which is not even there in our provisions, so they are ruled out. Option A is saying you need to select 3 audit engagements and not more than 2 for the engagements of Mr. Ramesh. So if there is no adverse findings, the provision states, the guideline states that you need to select not more than 1 from the same engagement partner. Okay. So option D is the correct option. With that, we have completed all these 3 questions. Now comes to the tricky questions. So question number 2 says, in case of which entities under audit of Well and Associates, there was a delay in assembly of final audit file. Okay. We were given with some table in the question. Yeah, this table. What I have done is I have copied all this information into a separate Excel and I have done some workings. I'll take you through that. Give me a second. Yeah. Before we go through those tables, let's go through this provision first. So go through the highlighted ones. In addition, in case of listed entities, those charged with governance might have received auditor's written communication before the date of approval of financial statements in order to discharge specific responsibilities in relation to internal control for regulatory or other purpose. Okay. For written communication relating to significant deficiencies, you need to communicate even before you have signed even before you have approved the financial statements in case of listed entities. However, reading further, for other entities, other than listed entities, the auditor may issue a written communication at a later date. Nevertheless, in the later case, in the sense, in case of other than listed companies, as the auditor's written communication of significant deficiencies forms part of the final audit file, the written communication is subject to the overriding requirement of the auditor to complete the assembly of final audit file on a timely basis. So your written communication should be within the date before your final audit file is compiled. Right? And this last point says, SA 230 states that an appropriate time limit within which to complete the assembly of final audit file is not more than 30 days from the date of your audit report. So here we have some 3 points. First point is you need to compile your final audit file within 60 days from the date of your audit report. I'm repeating again. So compilation of final audit file should be within 60 days from the date of your audit report. Okay. And the second point here is with respect to written communication of significant deficiencies in internal control. So the second point is further divided into 2 parts. First one is listed entities. Second one is other than listed entities. In case of listed entities, the provision states that even before you approve the financial statements, you in the sense auditor, even before the auditor approves the financial statements, written communication in respect of significant deficiencies in internal control should be communicated to the management, to those charged with governance. Okay. So for listed entities, written communication has to be sent to those charged with governance before the approval of financial statements. Okay. In case of other than listed entities, it should be before the date on which you are compiling the final audit file. Understood? I'm repeating again. The first point is you need to compile your final audit file within 60 days from the date of your audit report. The second point is in case of listed entities, written communication for significant deficiencies identified in internal control should be communicated before the approval of financial statements by the auditor. And second, and the third point is, in case of other than listed entities, written communication with respect to significant deficiencies in internal control has to be communicated before a final audit file is compiled. Got it? Okay. Now let's go through the tables that I have made. Yeah. So first point is, we'll be going through the second question wherein it is asking us to determine where there is a significant delay in compiling of final audit file. So I numbered these columns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So name of entity, type of entity, all this were taken from your material as it is. So the 7th column and 8th column were those which I have added. 7th column says 60 days from the date of audit report, because from what is the time limit for your audit file to be completed, final audit file? It is 60 days from the date of your audit report. So first thing I'm doing is I'll check whether it is, what is the date, what is the due date for me to compile the final audit file. So now I'll take 4 column. 4th column is the date of audit report plus 60 days. So don't go that 60 days will be 2 months and you are adding 2 months. It's just 60 days means 60 days. Take it in days only. So from the date of audit report, if I have added 60 days from there, then I had these dates respectively for all entities, right? So 7th column. Now what I need to do is I need to compare 5th column, that is the date of assembly of final audit file, with the 7th column and see whether 5th column date is on or before the date mentioned in column number 7. Okay, if it is on or before the date mentioned in column number 7, then there is no non-compliance. They have done it correctly within the time limit. If it is after the date in the column number 7, then it is a fault. So there is a delay in final audit file compilation. So for Rec Limited, it's a listed company. The date of audit report is 25th of June 2021. So from here, 60 days is coming to 24th of August 2021. So by what date I need to compile my final audit file? It is 24th of August 2021. But when I have compiled it, it is on 3rd of September 2021. Therefore, I missed the due date. What is my due date over here? 24th 8 2021 is my due date. So I missed that. So there is a non-compliance. So 8th column is saying, is the final audit file compiled within 60 days from the date of audit report? No. Ignore these spelling mistakes. So Rec Limited is missing that due date. So it is a no. And Timcode Private Limited, an unlisted company, the date of audit report is 18/8/2021 and 60 days from the date of audit report falling on 17/10/2021. So my due date is 17/10/2021. But when I have compiled 5/11/2021, so which is above the 17th of October. Therefore, there is a non-compliance there as well. So I answered it as no. Is the final audit file compiled within 60 days from the date of audit report? No. And Glass Private Limited again is an unlisted company. Date of audit report is 28/7/21. So 60 days from there is falling to 26/7/2021. Now I need to compare column 5 and column 7. Column 5 I have compiled on 15/9/2021. My due date is 26/9/2021. So I compiled my final audit file within the due date. Therefore, I'm in compliance. So is the audit file compiled within 60 days? Yes, it is. So there is no non-compliance. And then coming to Finde Limited, it's a listed company. Date of audit report in 4th column is 1/6/21. And 60 days from there is falling at 31/7/21 in column number 7. Now I need to compare column 5 and column 7 again. So column 5 is saying 1/8/21 and column 7, the due date is 31/7/21. Therefore, there is a non-compliance. Is the audit file compiled within 60 days? No. And the last company, DM Limited, is an unlisted company again. Date of audit report is 18/5/21. 60 days from column 4, that is the date of audit report, is falling on 17/7/21, and the date on which I have compiled my audit file is 25/6/21. Therefore, it is within the 60 days. Therefore, there is no non-compliance. So, column 8 saying is the file compiled within 60 days? Yes. Therefore, it's an S. So, the answer is where there is a significant delay. So, Rec Limited, Timco Private Limited, and Findev Limited are the three companies in which there is a significant delay in compiling the final audit file. That's where I have highlighted these three companies. Hope you are clear. So the provision is you need to compile your final audit file within 60 days from the date of audit report. So what I have done is I have copied that due date in column number 7. 60 days from column 4 is column 7. So now I will compare column 5 with column 7. So if column 5 date is on or before the date mentioned in column 7, then there is no non-compliance. If it is after the date, column 5 date is after the date in column 7, then there is a non-compliance. Okay. I hope this is clear. If you understood what I am saying, please comment below that you have understood. Okay, now we'll go through the question again. Oof, a big question. Okay. Question number 2, it is saying in case of which entities under audit of Well and Associates, there was a significant delay in assembly of final audit file. What we have seen is option B, Rec Limited, Timco Private Limited, and Findev Limited respectively. That's where I have highlighted those three rows in that particular table. And then all other options is incorrect. This is a purely practical question. And then moving on, question number 37.3. In case of which entities under audit of Well and Associates, there was a significant delay in written communication of significant deficiencies in internal control. Yeah, this is again a tricky question. You need to compare two dates here. So this is done. If you want to take screenshot, you can pause here and take this screenshot, or else I'll give you a complete table with both second question and third question answered in single table. And then moving on. Yeah, don't think that I don't know numbers. I intentionally hidden this 8th column. Okay, so this is the same table again. The data is taken from your table in the study in the booklet. So till column 6, it's the same data. So now the question is asking you whether the written communication of significant deficiencies is within the particular time limit prescribed under the standards of auditing or whatever it is. Okay, now you need to think. Here we have three conditions. I'm repeating again all the three conditions because all three conditions were important to solve and to understand this table. Okay, the first condition is you need to identify whether the audit file, final audit file, has to be compiled within 60 days from the date of audit report. So that's where my column number 7 says within 60 days, that is column 4 plus 60 days is the 60 days from the date of audit report. So I had the dates over in column 7. So till here, I hope everyone is clear. And the second condition is, in case of listed companies, it should be written communication has to be sent on or before the date of approval of financial statements. Okay, in case of listed entities, the date of written communication has to be within or on or before the date of your approval of financial statements. Where is my date of approval of financial statements given in the table? It is given in column number 3, and the type of entity is given in column number 2. So now this column 9, refer to column 9. What it is saying is 3 for listed companies. Column number 3 for listed companies. Why column number 3? Because it is the date of approval of financial statements. So for listed entities, I need to give written communication on or before the date of approval of financial statements. So it is saying 9 is a due date on before which you need to communicate your written communication. So it is 3 for listed companies and 7 for others. Others in the sense unlisted companies. So 3 for listed companies. What were the listed companies over here? Rec Limited and Findel Limited is a list. Both of these are listed companies, and the written communication has to be sent on or before the date of approval of financial statements. So I have taken the same dates. You might have observed Rec Limited date of approval is 31/5 and column 9 is also saying 31/5. Findel Limited is also a listed company. Date of approval is 12/5 and column number 9 is also saying 12/5. Okay. And then 7 for other companies. What were the other companies? Unlisted companies. Timco Limited, unlisted company. So it is 7th column. 7th column is 60 days from the date of audit report. 60 days is 710 and column 9 is also saying 710. And and Glass Private Limited is also unlisted company. So the 7th column says the 60 days falls on 26/9/21 and the same has been taken for column 9. DM Limited, column unlisted company again, column number 7 says 7/9/20 so the same has been taken for column 9. Hope you people are clear till here. So column 9 is saying in case of listed companies, it should be on or before the date of approval of your financial statements. In other cases, it can be later than that, but since it is part of your audit documentation, and these audit documentation, the final audit file and the audit working papers should be within the date prescribed under SA, time limit prescribed under SA 230, which is audit documentation, or final audit documentation has to be compiled within 60 days from the date of your audit report. Therefore, for unlisted companies, it is the date mentioned in column number 7, which is 60 days from the date of your audit report. Okay, I hope you people are clear. And then column number 10, what it is saying is column number 5 or column 9, whichever is earlier. Why column 5 or 9, whichever is earlier? Because let us suppose say my due date to file final audit file, see, it's apart from this question, I'm explaining you in general. So let us suppose say my due date to compile my final audit file falls on somewhere in August. So August 2021 is the date on which due date for me to file my final audit file. And I have compiled my final audit file in July. So August is my due date. July is the date on which I have compiled my final audit file. So I am within 60 days. And what the provision says, it states that your written communication can be anywhere after the date of approval as well in case of unlisted companies. So it should not go beyond the date on which I have compiled my final audit file, because the written communication forms part of my final audit file. Now, it should be on or before the due date for me, that is August, or on the date I have compiled my final audit file and I set that file aside. So it can be either July or August, whichever is earlier. So July is my date. Okay. Before July, I need to send out that written communication in case of unlisted companies, because it should form part of my audit file. Okay. Now, let's go through one by one company over here. Column number 10 says column 5, that is the date of assembly of final audit file, or column 9, due date for written communication for significant deficiencies in internal control by AFUR, whichever is earlier. We'll just go by the dates. So column 5 or column 9, whichever is earlier, I have taken the same dates for Rec Limited. It is 3/9/21 or 31/5/21, whichever is earlier is 31/5/21. So I need to send it by this date. And then for Timco Private Limited, it is 5/11/21 or 17, 10, 21. Whichever is earlier is 17, 10, 21. And then for Glass Private Limited, it is column 5, 15, 9, 21, or column 9, 26, 9, 21, whichever is earlier, 15, 9, 21. Then Findale Limited, column 5 states 1, 8, 21, or 12, 5, 21, whichever is earlier. So it is 12, 5, 21. DM Limited, date of final audit file 25, 6, 21, or column 9, 17, 7, 21, whichever is earlier, 25, 6, 21. Now, what I need to do? Now I need to compare column number 6 with column number 10. Column number 6 with column number 10. If column 6, whatever the date mentioned in column number 6 is on or before the date mentioned in column number 10, then I am in compliance. Or if that is not done, like date in column number 6 is after the date on which I have in column number 10, then it is a non-compliance on my part. Now I'll compare column 6 with column 10. So Rec Limited is saying 5, 6, 21 for column 6 and 31, 5, 21 column number 10, which is not within the date mentioned in column 10. Therefore, it is a non-compliance. Is the written communication sent within the time limit? No. And Timco Private Limited, an unlisted company. So column 6, 25, 8, 21 and column 10, 17, 10, 21. Is it communicated within the time specified in 10? Yes, it is. So no non-compliance. Glass Private Limited is an unlisted company. Date of written communication in column 6 is 8, 9, 21 and on which it has been, date on in column number 10 is 15, 9, 21. Since it is not within 15, 9, 21, it's a non-compliance. Findale Limited is a listed company. Column number 6 says 5, 5, 21 and column 10 says 12, 5, 21. Yes, it is within the date mentioned in column 10. So there is no non-compliance. DM Limited, an unlisted company again. So compare column 6 with 10 again. Column 6 says 4, 7, 21 and column 10 says 25, 6, 21. So there is a non-compliance because my due date is 25, 6, 21 as mentioned in column 10. But I have communicated it on 4, 7, 21. Therefore, there is a non-compliance. So what we have done over here, in short, if you are writing any short summary, first thing, column 4 plus 60 days should be there in column number 7. And second thing is, you need to take the due date. Due date can be, column number 9 says due date for written communication, which is column 3 for listed companies and column 7 for other companies. Other companies means unlisted companies. And now column 10, you need to compare column 5 with column 9. So whichever is earlier should be taken in column number 10. And column 11, what you need to do? You need to compare column number 6 with column number 10. So first thing is, you should get column number 7, which is 60 days from column number 4. And then is column 9, which is 3 for column 3 for listed companies and 7 for unlisted companies. And then we are comparing 5 with 9 for 10th column, and for 11th column you are comparing 6 with 10. That's where we have arrived. There is a non-compliance for Rec Limited, Glass Private Limited and DM Limited. So the answer to the question number 3, 1 minute, yeah. So answer to question number 3 is option D. Rec Limited, Glass Private Limited and DM Limited respectively. Hope that is what we have arrived. Yes, it is. So option D is the correct option. This is entirely a question which is based on provisions, and question number 3 is more complicated than question number 1. So I'll give you the final table that I have prepared with all 11 columns. Here you go. So for column 8 is for your second question. Column number 11 is for your third question. If you want, you can take this screenshot. Yeah, hope you guys were clear till here. So the provisions, three provisions based on which this table is created is: your final audit file should be within 60 days from the date of your audit report. The second point is written communications sent in case of significant deficiencies in internal control, which had two subpoints. One is for listed companies and the other is for other than listed companies. So for listed companies, written communication should be sent on or before the date of approval of financial statements. And for other than listed companies, it can be anywhere after the date of financial, it can be any date, but that date should be with, should have an overwriting effect of section of SA 230. What SA 230 states: you need to compile your audit file within 60 days from the date of audit report. Therefore, this particular written communication is forming part of your audit report. It should be there in your audit file. It should be there in your audit file, and which needs to be compiled within 60 days. If you have compiled your audit file within 60 days, then that is the date on which you need to send your, by that date you need to send your written communication. Because if you sent that written communication after the day after you have compiled your final audit file, then you won't have any chance or any probability to include that on that particular day on which you have compiled your final audit file. Therefore, for unlisted companies, it is the time limit prescribed under SA 230, which is 60 days from the date of your audit report. And that's where this particular table came into picture. Yes, this is a tricky question, but it is simple question if you understand it. Yep. Hope you have taken the screenshot. And do solve this question in person. Take a pen and paper, sit peacefully, read the entire question once and do it. You haven't listened this word from me earlier, so for this particular question I'm asking you, I'm requesting you to take this question up, sit peacefully, take pen and paper and then solve it. Only then you will be able to understand this question. It's not just you go through the entire video 10 times, 15 times. So you need to do it, solve it on your own. Only then you will remember these points. It's a bit tricky, but not that difficult to solve. Okay, with that, case study number 37, a big case study has been done. Hope you have understood this question. If you have understood, please comment below. It will be for my happiness, so that I feel that yeah, people are understanding. Okay. Thank you friends for watching this. To share with your friends who are in need, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.